Over. Dark white ginger Belgian Vit 6.8, and Christopher gave us 3 bottles, so Christopher held his horses and didn't have all 3. He was kind enough, so we're gonna have a little sample each.
Kind enough for me.
Very good carbonation.
Okay.
Very wild. Been in the lake, chilling out.
What type of beer is this, Luke?
Well, I would say we've got hints of ginger, caramel, and a fruity end. I think to the palate. It's very, very nice.
Fruity end.
Yeah. Just the perfect thing for a summer's day.
Okay.
Fruit juice and a beer all rolled into one. But it's nice, especially it's homemade, bubbly. It looks a bit like Kotikalia, in fact, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
That's the colour, the impression. But he's not obviously worried about gelatin and clarity, this man. He likes it unadulterated, unfiltered, unpasteurised, as it is, natural. But some other people, they make non-vegan beers. They put pork hooves, they put in pig hooves into their beer and think it's...
Rats!
Yeah, rats.
Give it
The
extra
German
protein.
purity laws, what was the mention of gelatin in those? But, you know, some people like, yeah.
Good.
Did anyone like my black preaching yesterday, the black preaching video? I had a lot more, I could have done it for a lot longer, but then my girl shouted me down.
Yeah.
I wanted to do sort of really like, I had a dishcloth and I was wiping my brow.
Prosperity.
What is it like, ginger beer?
Oh, I don't know, it's got some foam on the top and it's a bit murky underneath, but it tastes nice, especially on a hot day like this at the summer house. Anything would really taste nice here. So.
Bring the
2 other beers that we've brewed. This Aamuel Sadams, which is a play on Samuel Adams, and Double Cross, which is 7.7 volts. Double Cross, it's made with Bramling hops. And the Samuel Adams was done with some Nottingham yeast. And people are saying it's got a little bit sour flavour. But they've been cooling here in the lake. The labels are coming off. So I think we're going to try I'll take them both up and we can try them both, see what they are like. Brewed in the Brew Monk system. So that's the
so many dark and horrible days.
Aamuel Sadams,
So it's just like,
or Samuel Adams.
in a country where it's rough stuff, you appreciate it so much more.
And this one here is the
But the Finns really let it loose. in the
Double
summer.
Cross.
Thailand, you're just like, okay, it's like that
7.7.
every day.
It's a double IPA. So that's what we're going to go for.
It was snowing.
No.
It's snowing on my birthday. So this year it's remarkable.
This is the Double Cross.
The double D, the Double Cross.
Yeah.
Double IPA, so quite strong. Oh, my wrist. Nothing.
No smoke.
No smoke, no fizz. Tiny little maybe. Oh, it's got a bit. It's got.
Is it clear?
Has it got any?
Hardly.
Nothing racing up the bottle. Not up the. Tiny bit, hasn't it? But
What does it taste
not
like?
worry about that. Just taste it.
I don't sense, definitely don't
Tastes very alcoholic. It's really strong on the alcohol.
It's
It doesn't taste
7.7.
bad. It's like 8%, I think.
7.7.
And it's not maybe. Yeah, I think it'll be a good beer. but it's a bit early. 2 weeks is minimum usually for these, so we've had it in for 5 days. But this is the problem when you get too eager and you've run out of all the other beers that you've been drinking too early, and then you get stuff that you wait for and you think, oh, I'll just have one to taste today, it's going to get better. Next day you have one, the next you have one a day. And then when it's time that it's ready, you don't have any more.
And then there's also a
They've all gone.
So what's your aroma and nose and aftertaste?
I don't know, this one is more on the booze front. I think it's good.
It would be nice, I think, to
Good. Very, yeah, it's lighter probably than...
You're not going to do a jelly review of it, or an Aussie.
Yeah, it's good.
We did see them last
Nice.
Okay.
I'm trying to think when it was.
Rolling.
So here we have the Double Cross IPA, and just on the nose, I'm getting some woody notes and quite a caramel number. Just very smooth and quite a strong taste of Jello. I think I'm getting hints of trifle. I do like the caramel flavour. It's got a good.
What about the alcohol?
It's definitely boozy. Yeah. Reminds me of Grandma's sherry. It certainly gets a thumbs up. It'd be great to see it after the second fermentation. Some
Extremely hot in
extra
there.
bubbles.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's us.
We've reached the end of our beer tasting afternoon, and what would you say that we've learned, Patrick?
Well, I think this white label PL 507 has attenuated pretty well. It has those higher alcohols are shining through, and I think it's flocculated and matured, and once it's been primed for long enough with the carbonation drops of Coopers, I think it has a chance to become a classic, you know. And the hybrid, you can taste the hybridization of the hops in a way that there's been Bramling apples and maybe a cannabis plant
Somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
Crossbreeding.
Crossbreeding.
What would you say about the polyphenols I was picking up on?
Yeah, there's an acrid kind of almost like rubber tyre. Is it Nokian winter tyre with maybe a used winter tyre kind of flavour? Is that a polyphenol?
Maybe, yeah.
And especially served in a glass like this, where you can see the yeast, the remnants of the yeast.
Or gelatine.
Yeah. A few specks of gelatin maybe left in there.
Do you think this has got a market for vegans having gelatin in it? What do you think vegans would think of this beer?
I think this is very pro-vegan, isn't it? It affirms vegan kind of approaches to brewing.
There's a gelatin substitute which is pretty vegan, so you can still call it gelatin. But I think, yeah, we've been successful. We've still got one beer to go, by the way.
Which
the
is
sour ale.
so it's not sour ale. It's lambic.
Aamuel Sadams.
Yeah, but
Lambic,
it's lambic. It's a lambic. It's not sour. We didn't make a mistake.
No.
It's lambic. It's a very old tradition from the monks in Belgium. The lambic beers.
Wild
They're
yeast.
supposed to be sour like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't really make a mistake when we brewed.
Yeah.
Raise them up.
Is this video over? It was meant to be Boston Sam Adams. You can see it racing in the bottle already.
It's an aggressive.
It's an aggressive brew. Patent cork. And 6.26.
We got some solids in the bottom of the
Yeah,
bottle.
Kombucha.
Huge clump.
Yeah.
It's a life of its
Yeah,
own,
yeah,
that thing. If you left it in the bottle, it would. And you said Alison liked this, right?
Yeah, she enjoyed
Poured
this one.
straight. It lives
Yeah,
a good
very
head.
nice.
It looks cloudy, but so I think it's poured straight. It gives a very good head. It's half and half. 3 finger.
Yeah.
Big bubbles.
Luxurious.
What's the thing called on the side of the glass? Lacing.
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 Oh yeah, it's got legs.
It's got legs. Yeah. Hifistely. High fidelity. But it's very cloudy. It's almost like a wheat beer.
The sourness has really gone
Right.
down a lot.
Sourness has gone down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we saying then? That the bacteria has been overpowered by the alcohol.
Maybe.
It's been killed.
Yeah, maybe.
It's been wrestled to the ground,
Yeah,
overpowered.
yeah, subdued. I quite like the sour ales that Carla made.
Yeah, I think as a style, it's one of those that you pretty.
So what is this? Explain this to us then, what it is, Samuel Adams.
Well, this is not.
Samuel Adams, wasn't he
Well, I
some sort
think
of
they said
father of the revolution?
rich and complex. It's not a lager, but they sell it as a lager. They sell it as Boston lager, but the color is a lot darker. And we tried to make a Boston lager, but we used an ale yeast, and we used high temperatures, so it's failed in those two regards. Ale yeast and too high temperatures. It's not even close to a lager.
Yeah, but what about Samuel Adams? What do you know about him?
He was a son of a preacher, I think. Son of a.
A preacher making beer.
But
He
they,
couldn't have been a Christian.
I think his dad failed. No, what they were selling malt to brewers. They had an advert in the local paper. But his dad's business went bust.
But didn't he become some father of the revolution?
Was he one of the founding fathers? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was.
And what about this Aamuel Sadams?
Is he a dictator?
Do we know anything about this guy?
Wasn't he? He lived in a cave somewhere in Afghanistan.
I think it is Sanamunos, Cockney rhyming slang. So apples and pears stairs. Samuel Adams, Aamuel Sadams in Finnish. They just turn it round. So hillit on kurvi, kullit on hirvi.
And for afters, apple pie and coffee.
That was a combination.
Patrick just ate the mother load.
Yeah, and that was a combination of the yeasts. I got the bottom from the last two beers, so they conjoined.
flour.
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
And then you can put this into some viili.
Yeah.
Put some milk into it.
And put hairs on the chest.
Yeah. Okay, now we go for this.
Great.
How cold is it?